Hello, happy campers. Welcome to another Sci-Fi Journal. This one is for summer of 2021. This is Calvin Watts III.
Hello, everyone. Don't do this to me. No, actually, it's really cool. We're actually out at Colt State Park with the Rhode Island Science Fiction Club's summer picnic, and we haven't gotten together in well over a year in person, and we are having an absolute blast.
Not a mask to be found.
Right.
So what we're going to do is we're going to go to the different folks here because we're just too relaxed to get together and do all that cool stuff. And we'll do our segments that way. Sound good?
Sounds good to me.
Okay, let's see what's going on.
So we are having a fantastic time here at our annual Colt State Park.
Colt State Park. Yeah,
yes,
you go.
Colt.
You definitely don't need a coat today. It's really warm out here.
Yes, we are very blessed with some summer weather down here. We're in a breezy 80 degrees. So I am here with the lovely, the handsome, fantastic, amazing, superb, intelligent, creative, sometimes annoying.
All right, enough.
Ian Kingston, and he is here with Popcorn Previews. Are you ready?
I am.
Are you sure?
I am. Thank you. And that was my wife. All right, so for Popcorn Previews, I got 3 movies to talk through today. A couple of these are actually probably going to be live, but they're not live at the moment. They are Luca, which is streaming on June 18th, which is just a couple of weeks away, on Disney+. It's directed by Enrico Casarosa, and it goes on the Italian Riviera. An unlikely but strong friendship grows between a human being and a sea monster disguised as a human. It's very reminiscent to a boys' version of The Little Mermaid from the trailers, and we'll take a look at that one.
Wow, Luca. That was hard to watch. You, coming?
We do not go anywhere near the surface. Got it?
Everything good is above the surface. Walking. Air! The sky, clouds, the sun. Whoa, don't look at it. Just kidding. Definitely look at it.
Have you ever gone to the human town?
Yeah. I'm kind of an expert.
Hey, little hands!
Someone got lucky today.
Hey, leave them alone! Hop on.
Go start a club for losers.
My name is Julia Marcavaldo. We underdogs have to look out for each other.
What's under the dogs?
This is my dad.
What do you think he kills with those?
Anything that swims.
Your life is so much cooler than mine. There's a million things you think you can't do. All you need is a chance to try.
Something's fishy with you two.
This is too dangerous. They'll see us.
I know your problem. You got a Bruno in your head.
A Bruno.
Say, Silencio Bruno.
Silencio Bruno.
Louder. Silencio Bruno.
Silencio Bruno.
Silencio Bruno.
Silencio Bruno.
Can you still hear him?
Nope, just you.
Good. Now hang on.
Silencio Bruno.
What's wrong with you, stupido?
You do it now. Just say the thing.
What's wrong with you, stupido?
That one's starring, as you can probably tell from some of the voices there, Jacob Tremblay, Jack Dylan Grazer, and Maya Rudolph. I'm really excited. It's another great Disney Pixar film and should be a great one for the whole family. Looks like it's going to be a lot of, just honestly a joy to have. Up next, we have Infinite. This one is streaming on June 10th, which is even less than a week away now. It's directed by Antoine Fuqua. Gotta be careful how I say that language. And it goes, a man discovers that his hallucinations are actually visions from past lives. Let's take a look at that one.
You are an infinite. Evan Macaulay, diagnosed with schizophrenia at 14 after carving the words "look inside" into your chest with a box cutter. Look inside. Why those words? Which one of these is yours?
Look, you could skip the whatever the hell this is because none of that is mine.
Was it yours?
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about.
Jesus! Every time you say, "I don't know," this trigger gets pulled. Is it yours?
Look, I don't know.
Are you out of your mind? Last chance, Evan. Is this yours? Hello, old friend.
Oh, get in!
This isn't your first life, Evan. You are an infinite. You've lived and died 1,000 times.
You're talking about reincarnation.
If you can remember who you were, you will understand who you can become.
I had to put this one on the list because, of course, it's starring Mark Wahlberg, one of my favorite actors. Huge Patriots fan, huge Red Sox fan, which, you know, everybody's got their problems.
It's his 50th birthday, man.
It's also, as we're filming, it's his 50th birthday today. Thanks, Mark. It's also starring, and I had to look this one up on how to spell it. It's Chiwetel Ejiofor and also Sophie Cookson. So it's going to be a great movie. I can't wait to see it. I love stories that follow this kind of arc. You know, people trying to connect with their past lives, a reincarnation type thing, but also kind of like a lot of badassery, science fiction, lots of action. It's going to be great. It's streaming on Paramount Plus, which I am not subscribed to, so maybe I'll pick it up for a month to see this movie. Next and last, but definitely not least, and I'm sure Calvin, who's sitting over here, would love to see this one in film. Maybe it'll actually be one of our movie nights when we can finally go back to the theaters when this one officially comes out. It's Dune. It's coming out on October 1st. That's when it's expected. However, it is in post-production with the complications with COVID. That date is definitely likely to change, so keep a close tab on it, and maybe in the next episode I'll have a better update for you.
They had to color in the blue eyes by hand. That's why it's taking us.
Are you serious? Is that? Oh, I didn't think so. Mark was trying to say that it's colored by hand, and I'm like, that doesn't sound real, but maybe it is because he has these weird fun facts every once in a while. Mostly he's just busting your balls. So that one's directed by Denis Villeneuve, if I'm saying that right. I would think it's Villanueva, but it looks like Villanova to me, and I didn't check it before this, so that's my bad. Feature adaptation of Frank Herbert's science fiction novel about the son of a noble family entrusted with the protection of the most valuable asset and most vital element in the galaxy. Let's take a look at that one.
something happening to me. There's something awakening in my mind. I can't control it. What did you see? There's a crusade coming. Do you often dream things that happen just as you dreamed them? Yes. The test is simple. Remove your hand from the box, and you die. What's in the box? Pain. You inherit too much power. You have proven you can rule yourself. Now you must learn to rule others. Something none of your ancestors learned. My father rules an entire planet. He's losing it. He's getting a richer one. He'll lose that one too. Arrakis is a death trap. Kill them. This is an extermination. They're picking my family off one by one.
Let's fight like demons.
An animal caught in a trap will gnaw off its own leg to escape. What will you do? I know you. One day, the legend will be born. All of civilization depends on it. The future, I can see it. I must not fear. Fear is the mind killer.
My Lord Duke.
Where the fear is gone, only I will remain.
Go, go, go!
Another great one based on an awesome story in the science fiction realm. I know it's Calvin's favorite science fiction story and movie as far as I remember, because this is a remake of an original. And it stars Timothée Chalamet, Rebecca Ferguson, and Zendaya. So looks like it's going to be a pretty great all-star cast. Looks like it's going to be a whole lot of fun. As you can see, they've come an awful long way, and I hope it does come out on October 1st because I can't wait to see it. So that's all I've got for this episode. Hope you guys are enjoying the awesome weather, and let's see what everybody else has going on. And welcome back. I said let's see what else is going on, and what else we have going on today is the man, the myth, the legend in our Game Over segment, Calvin Watts the Third. Here you go, Calvin Watts.
The man, the myth, the legend, really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I know, it's exaggerated, but here you go.
God, you see what I gotta put up with? I don't really have anything prepared, but not really. But so we'll just go off the top of my head. Well, you're so welcome. Physical media is really not a whole lot going on right now, except there are some really cool things that will be coming out. They just announced that in August they're going to have a 4K remastered edition of David Lynch's Dune, which is really awesome, a cult classic, really great movie. Not for everybody, but there's going to be a ton of extra features and stuff for this. I'm definitely looking forward to it. you're seeing a lot more catalog titles that are coming out in 4K, which is really kind of surprising because streaming is just like all the rage these days, and you have more things that are consolidating now with Amazon's purchase of MGM. So now they basically control half of the James Bond franchise, as an example, and then Warner Media gonna merge with Discovery, and you know, now you already had like one mega conglomerate, and now we're talking like super mega conglomerate. What do you think?
I think it's going to make for a lot of really, really overhyped movies that might not be the most fantastic quality when they come out, because they're going to be pushing for a lot of movies in the post-COVID phase. I think that's what we're going to unfortunately see. So we're going to have to hold with bated breath for any kind of movies coming out and any kind of media that's coming out, especially in the remake era. You know, I feel like a lot of people are going to look at the success Disney's had with remaking a lot of movies, Mulan, Lion King, Beauty and the Beast, to name a few, and they're really going to try to, I think, tackle it in a way where they're going to try to release those original James Bonds, the Sean Connery movies, etc., and just maybe overhype it a bit too much and make it so that it kind of just wears everything out. We want something new.
Yeah, you gotta have new experiences and new stuff. And don't get me wrong, I like remakes just as much as anybody else, but there are so many ideas out there just waiting to be mined. Go and mine them. All right, on to gaming. E3 is going to actually be a thing this year, and there's so many rumors and so many things going on. Let's talk about the stuff that we actually know, which isn't a whole lot, but Xbox and PS5 shortages, along with some PC stuff, and I'll let you talk about that, are going to continue for the majority of the year because the chips that they use to make these things, they're in such short supply. And in fact, they're already talking about redesigning the PlayStation 5 because now they admitted that crazy design that they have for the covering of the guts really isn't all that practical. Let's talk about something that's a little more mired. In fact, Xbox is going to have a press conference at E3. It's highly anticipated. It looks like they're going to start to leverage their acquisition of Bethesda Studios, and a lot of the stuff like the Starfield is rumored it's going to be now like an Xbox PC exclusive, among other stuff.
I believe that Starfield was confirmed that it's going to be an exclusive, and there's a lot of question right now whether or not Elder Scrolls 6 will go the same way, and the overwhelming thought is that PlayStation won't see another Elder Scrolls game.
Which is entirely true, but now here's an intriguing thing. Now Nintendo is actually going to have a press conference, and one of the things that everyone's talked about, and it's been all but confirmed at this point, is the Nintendo Switch Pro, which I'm actually looking forward to because it'll be upgraded 4K graphics and be much more in line with the new consoles. But there's been a lot of cryptic talk going out about Nintendo and Microsoft having some sort of a collaboration or a partnership or whatever, and that's something, if we're going to learn about that, it's going to be really soon. What are your thoughts?
Honestly, I'm excited for it. A quick note on the Nintendo Switch Pro is the system itself has been confirmed. The price is really up in the air, but there's been 2 leaks. One in France, and I can't remember what website, and one for India's Amazon, where they both listed the same price. So speculation right now, this is completely speculatory right now. We're seeing prices right around the $399 to $449 range in US dollars is how it about translate. So we might be seeing that come out and possibly be announced officially, especially since there's already been a couple of major leaks at E3. We might actually finally hear the price of it too and what it comes with.
What it basically all boils down to is if you are able to get a hold of a next-gen system or a next-gen PC, it's a great time to be a gamer, and it's always a good time to be a gamer. The Atari VCS has finally got an actual release date with a price point of like $300, and if you want actually like controllers or something, now you're talking like $400. I think that's a little crazy, but there's a reason why this system has been delayed and delayed and delayed. It'll be interesting to see what happens there. So that's basically it for our summer edition of Game Over. We'll have more information as it comes out the next time we tape. I'm sure we'll have a lot more facts, and we'll be able to talk to you about more stuff. So, thank you. Well, it's summer. We're outside, which is a perfect opportunity to talk about tube news. So here is Mark. I don't know, are you here?
Yeah, wait a minute. Why is summer the perfect opportunity to talk about tube news?
Because we're outside. We're going to watch TV, aren't we?
We're going to watch TV outside?
I told you it's the perfect opportunity.
Oh, all right. Sounds good. Anyway. Okay, what do I got? I got a few things here. Netflix has an original anime series called Trese, Trese. It airs on June 11th. It's about a young girl who belongs to a family of demon hunters.
Demon hunters?
Demon, like a Buffy the Vampire Slayer type thing. But it's an original Netflix show. It's based on a foreign comic book.
Okay.
Okay, so that looks pretty good. And then also on Netflix is a series called Sweet Tooth, which is based on the DC Comics series. That starts on June 4th. It's a post-apocalyptic tale about a hybrid boy searching for a safe haven.
Okay.
So according to the comic, pollution has ruined everything, but one of the things that has been a result is kids are being born as hybrids. So this particular character is part deer. He's got antlers and all this other stuff. And so it's about he's trying to hide from people who are hunting all the different types of kids. Okay. So it's supposed to be pretty good. It's already been pretty much green-lighted for another season.
Really?
Yeah.
Because considering they just canceled Jupiter's Legacy.
They canceled Jupiter's Legacy, but they're going to go with season 2 of Sweet Tooth.
Okay.
So if you're familiar with that book, you might want to check out the show too. Okay, good. And then let's see what else. I don't have any Doctor Who episodes. Season 13 is being filmed as we speak in Great Britain. There's going to be just 8 episodes this year as opposed to the usual 12 due to that stupid pandemic thing that was going on, all right? So it's supposed to start in late fall. There's no specific dates yet, so we don't know when it's going to start. Okay, but if you need a Jodie Whittaker fix, I do have a suggestion. There's a film that she was in called Attack the Block.
That's supposed to be really good. That's on my list. It's on my to-do list.
Yep.
I think that's on Amazon Prime.
Yeah, well, there's 2 ways you can watch it. It was released in 2011. You can watch it on Amazon Prime. You can rent it for a couple of bucks, or you can watch it free on the Tubi TV app.
All right, awesome.
So if you have Tubi TV, you can go and watch that show, Attack the Block.
And it's a free app, so pretty much anybody can get it.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun too because they have thousands of good sci-fi stuff that you can check out. And Attack the Block is pretty neat because it's about a group of kids that live in an English neighborhood, and they get invaded by aliens, and it's about how these teenage kids fight off these aliens. It's really neat.
Cool.
It's a good thing to check out. And that's all I got this month. So this time around for Tube News.
Okay.
All right. Okay, now unfortunately we have some sad news to report. And the sad news is that our good friend Jake Kingston, who was a founding member of the Rhode Island Science Fiction Club and was probably the first face we saw on Sci-Fi Journal, or one of the first faces.
It was one of the first faces.
Yep.
Unfortunately, I was the first face, but that's neither here nor there. But no, he was with us from the beginning.
Right,
so
from the beginning. He passed away in April. So we wanted to take a few minutes to remember him, and we have this little piece that we put together just about Jay, so let's take a look at that right now. So we thought we would give some folks who knew him very well a chance to express their thoughts and wishes and maybe share a few stories and quirks about Jay and what they meant to him. So I don't know if there's anyone who wants to go first. Raise your hand. All right, Mr. Tuckman, why don't you go ahead?
As a science fiction show, we occasionally shoot at conventions, and one of them was Aresia here in Boston. We also shoot at BosCon, which is also held in Boston. And so sometimes as a group, we go and get together, do our own things, and then get together to shoot where we can record some of the authors and once in a while a television show performer. Anyway, one story I have with Jay, he likes to jokes and he has some very good stories. We occasionally would do a practical joke, nothing too extreme or too often, but they have these glass elevators in Aresia, and they're kind of slow. And he was coming up, and there was a group of people in the elevator, and we were waiting for him on the right floor. The people with him must have annoyed him somehow because he slowly left, and just before he stepped out, he broke wind. And then he stepped out fast enough that the door shut right behind him, and the elevator continued upward. but you can hear the screams of the damned as they went on to their floor. So don't talk him off in an elevator or you'll live, presumably, to regret it.
Now, how long did you know Jay, Adam?
I joined the group in 1999, so that's when I met him. I think my first meeting with the group, or the second, was the first one was the Halloween meeting, and then the second one was the Christmas steal a gift.
All right, and now it's Calvin Watts III and his turn to speak about our good buddy Jay Kingston. So, Calvin, what you got?
Man, where to begin?
I know.
But Jay was very knowledgeable. I mean, if you go back to some of the interviews he's had over the years, very much a literary guy, but he was also a very visual guy, very, very talented guy. Did all sorts of stuff, writing, artwork, and it just the life of the party. One of the things that he ended up doing for us, Leslie back in was like 2007 or 2008. I'm an old school anime fan. So basically I grew up in the 70s. So Star Wars, Star Trek. Back then, the Shogun Warriors were a really big hit around here in New England. They had a show called Force 5. And for the 5 shows, it was a different show each day. And we're all like giant robots that, you had humans piloted. So the show that was on Friday was a show called Guy King. And you can actually go and buy like the complete series on DVD now, it's a really cool show. And Leslie asked Jay if he wouldn't mind doing a painting for us. I believe it was like a Christmas gift. And she commissioned him to do it. And he had so much enjoyment doing it. He basically said that he would give it to us for free if he could use it as his art exhibit in the Boston show for the next year, which is what he did. You can see the picture, which is behind me now. So I still have it framed and hanging up. And I absolutely loved it. I saw it, and the time that it must have taken for him to do it is just crazy. So, I mean, very, very talented guy, but also on a personal level, I've had some, like everybody else, things happen with me over the years. Jay was always there for if I needed advice, if I needed somebody to talk to, whether it was something serious, whether it was something funny, whether it was something stupid, whether it was, frankly, it was something awkward. He would tell it like it is. He'd tell it in a nice way or his own like unique style, but he would do it. And it was really tough, especially these last few years, to see all the stuff that he went through, because his health has been declining for a while. But you know what? He never gave up. He never quit. Always fought. Jay was one of my closest and dearest friends, and I miss him terribly, as I know Mark does, because we've talked about this, and it's been a rough couple of months. The show is no, I'm okay, but thank you. The show's not going to be the same without him, without his presence. And it's something we all are going to have to adjust to. Ian's done a remarkable job. And then, Mark's daughter, Ian's wife, Maddie, is really awesome. Some really fine kids, and they're doing, their dad proud. But
James is not too bad.
No, James is
doing a good job too.
Yeah, no, we have
his anime. Yes,
we have a good crew. We really do. And we still love doing it. And this is 25 years. 25 years we've been schlepping through, and somehow there are still people out there that watch the show. I can't understate how much my life was better with having Jay in it. And I miss him terribly. I talk to Barbara, Jay's wife, often. And, you know, I talk to Ian often and Justin often. And, you know, it's his passing has left a big hole in a lot of people's hearts. So, you know, you find a way to move on, and that's what we have to try and do. But I definitely miss my friend. So those are some of my recollections.
Awesome. All right, Mr. Pat. What are your thoughts and feelings about Jay Kingston? We want to share with him.
Very, very strong feelings. When I first got the news that Jay had passed away, I was heartbroken. I wept. But I want to just go back. When I first met him, I can't tell you what year it was, because this was before I was involved with RISFIC. Jay was the one who brought me into RISFIC, but I first met Jay when he was my student at Rhode Island College. I was teaching an afternoon class, and I walk in. Okay, good group, and at least one grown up in the class. His name was Jay, and I enjoy the students of all ages, but I always really enjoyed the grown up students because they were more focused. They were there. They were involved. Lots of different reasons. All that's true about Jay and more. Wonderful sense of humor. But now I've got to tell a sad story. One day, I came to the classroom. He was waiting for me outside. He was going to miss the class, and he had to tell me why. It's sad, but it tells you something about what a beautiful man he was. Many people know that Jay worked for the medical examiner's office. So his job was going out and collecting people who had passed away, often violently, and on and on. This day, he was just kind of walking rapidly back and forth, filled with energy he tried to get rid of. And he told me that it had to deal with the body of a child who had been abused. It broke his heart. Now, if you think about that for a minute, when you're doing that kind of job, you're not supposed to have feelings like that. It's supposed to be all in a day's work. And if Jay could have made it all in a day's work, he might have been able to survive that job. But Jay was a beautiful person, filled with feelings, filled with caring, filled with love. So that just wrecked him. And I think maybe sometime after that, it occurred to me what a wonderful thing it was that he wanted to share his pain with me, and I was there with him to share it. But that's a beautiful thing for me to remember. Just of many beautiful things about Jay. Again, the sense of humor, the creativity. Jay and Aaron both were great. So, but again, more of Jay's creativity. Jay was a painter. Now, I'm not going to dwell on that, but I think we all know this terrible story, how Jay was punished wrongly, not punished in the sense of the law, but just he didn't. As my wife and I used to say, every time we heard something new about some bad news about Jay, would always say, Jay never gets into breaks, does he? And we know that with his health issues, with his diabetes, with his kidney issues, it's just one of the most wonderful people. Could never get the breaks. And the biggest of all was the station fire. And again, it goes back to Jay's being a caring person, a loving person, a pulling person filled with a heart who had to deal with all those dead people who died in the station fire. And we know in some ways he never did get over it. Like, it did weaken him, but even weakened, he was still somebody you could turn to for love and compassion and for joy. You know the French phrase, joie de vivre, joy of living. Even with all that he suffered, Jay had joie de vivre. Jay was full with life and passion. He made you feel good to be around him. Just, so like I said, when I first heard the news, I wept a lot. I'm actually a little surprised I'm not weeping right this minute. I was a few minutes ago just trying to think about what I was going to say. I was weeping. So just for all of you who love Jay, I loved him too. We all wept for him. Oh, and his painting. I forgot one more important thing just about his painting. After the diabetes and all the other physical issues, he's lost his vision. You think about a guy who loves reading. Jay is a reader. That's bad. That's a tough thing to live through. It didn't keep him from reading. I think he had lots of coping strategies. He certainly did not stop being a reader. He did not stop being a passionate reader, but he also continued to be a passionate painter. And at least somebody, I think it was one of Jay's sons, mentioned something that I also noticed. As his vision was going, his paintings, he was doing good academic paintings, good A+ grade paintings, but some of his newer work, I think it was just the loss of vision, I think, freed his soul, freed his mind, freed his eye, freed whatever, because his later paintings to me were far more passionate, far more beautiful. Yet again, not criticizing the ones you do, but with all that happened, he got friggin' better as a painter. I still miss him. I'll miss him to the day I die. So, thanks for giving me a chance to let it get off my get it.
Oh, you're welcome. Yeah. All right, thank you, Bill. All right, James, you want to go next?
Okay. So I joined the club in '99, but I had watched Sci-Fi Journal before that. So I had seen, Jay and Mark and Calvin and some others that were on the show beforehand for a couple of years, and even ran into Mark at a convention. But it was great to meet Jay and talk to him. His stories were always great. I especially remember some of the people he got to interview for Sci-Fi Journal. Partly it's because I've seen them over the years again and again. I believe he interviewed Neil Gaiman. He interviewed at NorEastCon 4 one of the special effects artists for the Lord of the Rings series from the studio in New Zealand, and they were holding a Hugo Award at the time. So I mean, Jay got to interview that person, and that was a great interview with the Hugo sitting right there between them. And he made friends with these people too, more than just interviewing an interviewee. So I think there's several authors on his friends list and stuff. I remember some of the Jay always when he's introing a film, he'd always say, "Let's roll that beautiful bean footage," or "Let's take a look at that now," and things like that. And I could cut together all the things that Jay says. It'd just be the same thing almost every time, but it's but he does it with such a friendly way. Everyone loves to see his segment and stuff like that. That's all I can say for right now.
Okay. All right. Thanks. Okay, Miss Leslie, what do you have to share about our friend Jay?
Jay was one of the first people that I met in the club when I moved here. And he was one of the most welcoming people. He accepted anybody and everybody with a smile and a joke. And Jay was just a beautiful soul. I don't know of anyone else who loved life as much as he did, who loved talking to people, and if Jay was your friend, you knew it. And you knew that he loved you. And the world is a much, much dimmer place now that he's not here with us anymore.
Mm-hmm. Well, thank you for that. And speaking of his beautiful wife, we have Barbara Kingston. Hello, Barbara. Thanks for joining
Hey,
us.
Mark.
You want to share something about your hubby?
Well, I mean, there's a lot to say about him, but I guess, you know, I guess the first thing that I really fell in love with Jay is that he could always make me laugh. He was a wonderful listener, and, you know, he just always made you feel really comfortable, and he just, like I said, always found a way to make you laugh. And even when we'd have arguments, if he decided he didn't want to argue anymore, he'd just do something silly and make you laugh, and then, you know, you can't be mad anymore. And I know how much he loved the club and Sci-Fi Journal. I mean, that was just the love of his, other than me, it was the love, something he really loved. He loved being behind the camera. He loved to tell stories. He'd embellish them quite a bit, but I still enjoyed listening to him over and over again, even if I heard them 10, 20 times. He was a great storyteller. It's just so hard for me to just come up with little things. I mean, he's been in my life for almost 40 years. But I do miss him terribly, and I will always miss him. I'll always love him. And he's with me. He's with me.
Yep. Jay Kingston was an awesome guy. He was my best buddy. Like the rest of you have said, we will truly miss him forever. Yep. It's good. But I take some solace in the knowledge that someday we will meet up again. And the first thing he'll probably say to me is, "What took you so long?" You know? That's probably what he's going to do. But he was an awesome guy.
You're better than the best. I'm lucky just to linger in your light. Cooler than the flip side of my pillow. That's right. Completely unaware. Nothing can compare to where you send me. Lets me know that it's okay. Yeah, it's okay. In the moments when my good times start to fade, you make me smile like the sun, fall out of bed, sing like a bird, dizzy in my head, spin like a record, crazy on a Sunday night. You make me dance like a fool, forget how to breathe, shine like gold, buzz like a bee. Just the thought of you can drive me wild. Oh, you make me smile. Even when you're gone, somehow you come along just like a flower poking through the sidewalk crack. And just like that, you steal away the rain. And just like that, you make me smile like the sun, fall out of bed, sing like a bird, dizzy in my head, spin like a record, crazy on a Sunday night. You make me dance like a fool, forget how to breathe, shine like gold, buzz like a bee. Just the thought of you can drive me wild. Oh, you make me smile. Don't know how I live without you, 'cause every time that I get around you, I see the best of me inside your eyes. You make me smile. You make me dance like a fool, forget how to breathe, shine like gold, buzz like a bee. Just the thought of you can drive me wild. You make me smile like the sun, fall out of bed, sing like a bird, dizzy in my head, spin like a record, crazy on a Sunday night.
right, now it's time for books and board games. Woo! With my lovely daughter, Madison Kingston.
That's me.
And my soon-to-be granddaughter.
That's her.
What do you got?
So I've got 3 games for you guys this month. The first one, Marvel Crisis Protocol, has been out for a little bit. They had the booster box that was released, I think, sometime last year. They just released a new slew of new characters. So if you're not familiar with Marvel Crisis Protocol, it's a tabletop hobby miniatures game. So it's more for like collecting them and being able to play with them, but more for saying, haha, I have this character and you don't. The core set does come with 10 characters. You do need that to be able to start the game. So Atomic Mass Games released these. It is a 2v2 player game. The playtime is dependent on the characters that you choose to use in that game. Ages 14 plus, and all of these characters that I'm about to list are released as early as June 11th and as late as June 25th. Price ranges from $25 to $85 depending on the characters that you get. So they're releasing, let's see, Amazing Spider-Man and Black Cat as a duo, Cable and Domino as a duo, Deadpool and Bob, Agent of Hydra, as a duo, Lizard and Kraven as a duo, Luke Cage and Iron Fist as a duo, Mr. Sinister on his own, Mysterio and Carnage together, Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver together, and Sin and Viper together. So they're releasing a good amount of characters for this set. Like I said, they're coming out in a variety of times during June, and if you are into those collectible minifigure hobbies, then this is definitely something to check out.
Nice.
The second one that I have is called Sword and Sorcery Ancient Chronicles. So this is an epic fantasy cooperative board game. Essentially, it's Dungeons and Dragons without the need of a game master. The game itself has you walk through it, but you yourself create your characters and monsters and go through it that way. This is fully compatible with the Immortal Souls campaign, so you can carry over your heroes and monsters from that campaign into this one too. This is from Ares Games and Gremlin Project. It's about 1 to 5 players, so it's for a smaller group of friends. 60 to 90 minutes is the average for each session that the game will take you through.
Wouldn't it be kind of sad if you just played alone?
I mean, technically you could if you took the time, but that would be really long time and
that'd be kind of lonely.
If that's your temptation, please call.
Get some friends.
So this is for ages 12 plus, just because it does, of course, have some fighting and gore. It is $89.99 for the set.
Ouch!
And yes, but it lasts for quite a while with a variety of different scenarios that can change as you play. And it is out now. It released the end of May, which is super exciting. So it's definitely something to check out if you want to do Dungeons and Dragons, but you're too lazy to be a game master. The last one that I have here for you guys is called Snakes, because it has 3 S's at the end. This is your typical fun party game that I figured I would include, because I honestly might pick this up for me and my family.
Because you like fun party games.
I do.
I know.
So, this is a quote from the creator of the game. It says, "In Snakes, you deal out cards and try to answer a multiple choice question with the rest of the players. The more people who get it right, the more points you cash in. Unless, of course, you get one of the snake cards. All of the snakes," so you'll have regular players and snakes, "already know the answer. So their job is a bit simpler. To score points, they must sabotage the discussion and mislead the other players." So in this game, you have your regular players and you have those who are assigned as snakes. The regular players have to try and get the multiple choice question correct. The snakes already know the answer and have to try and mislead you into selecting the wrong answer.
Right.
So it's a really fun game that you can do with friends to try and see who's really good at lying and deceiving, really get to know your friends a little bit better. This is released by Big Potato Industries.
So it's not like Hasbro Big Potato.
It just said Big Potato.
It said Big Potato.
It's released by Big Potato.
Okay.
It has 4 to 8 players, so it's a decent sized group. It runs for about 20 minutes a session, so it's nothing crazy. It's a good time filler when you're waiting for the pizza to get there.
Right.
Ages 12 plus, again, some of the questions might be a little mature for some younger friends, so 12 plus would be good. It only runs you $20, and it was released on June 1st, so it's definitely one to consider.
Nice.
And that's all I got.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, let's see what else is going on for Sci-Fi Journal.
Woo!
everybody. James here in the windy Colt State Park, and I'm going to do anime daisuki. Well, we have the whole club here. So for anime daisuki, I'm going to start off with here. I used to live in Hawaii in high school, and there was a TV station there, KIKU, Nihongo Terebi desu. They had Japanese programming and Filipino programming too. But you know, back in the 70s, 80s, it was all over the air. Then with cable, they were on cable. Now they're, I guess, digital and stuff. But they're going to be discontinuing the Japanese programming. So no more anime, no more Japanese dramas, soaps and things like that. And they had samurai shows too. And a few tokusatsu shows like Kamen Rider, Kikaida when I was a kid there. So so that'll be ending here at the end of June. Also, Demon Slayer, Kimetsu no Yaiba Mugen Train, the film, did $46 million in the U.S., which was fantastic for being in theaters this spring with the pandemic going on. And worldwide, Demon Slayer, Mugen Train did $477 million just in the year 2020. That was the first non-Hollywood, non-American film in history to be number one like that. So fantastic success for Demon Slayer. It's really been pretty much the number one anime for this past year and a half. And you can catch it on Toonami if it's still running, repeating. Lupin the Third will now have a part 6 for the 50th anniversary of Lupin the Third, the story of Arsène Lupin the Third, who is a thief, right? And the original story created by Monkey Punch, also known as his Japanese name is Kazuhiko Kato. Started back in like the 60s and 70s. So the first series, part 1, was 1971 and is available on Amazon. You can check it out. Part 2 you can get from Discotheque Media. That came out in 77. Part 3 came out in 1984. And then there was a long gap. They did have a couple of Lupin films. Like every decade, there was like 2 or 3. But then Part 4 came out in 2015, so that was a long gap. And then Part 5 in 2019, 19. Yeah. So now we're going to get a Part 6. Let's see. Also, just came out recently was Lupin the Third's The First, a CG animated film, and I love Tony Oliver's voice for Lupin. I wish they could maybe redub, since Part 2 isn't streaming at all, or Part 3, they could redo it with his voice. But he's done fantastic. This resurgence of Lupin the Third. There's even been a Netflix film from France of Lupin, not the Japanese character per se, but their own film. So yeah, Lupin's gaining popularity. Next, Gundam news. Gundam Hathaway is a new... more Gundam news. Hathaway is a film coming out June 11th in Japan. Kido Senshi Gundam Senko no Hathaway. It occurs during the Universal Century 0105. Hathaway Noah, son of Bright Noah and Mirai Yashima, is part of the Mafti organization that's trying to prevent the privatization of Earth for the privileged. So yes, more new Gundam is coming out. It's great. And for all you fans of Gundam Seed, Seed was a great series, animated series, and it was followed up by a sequel film, Mobile Suit Gundam Seed Destiny, which did really well. So the director, Mitsuo Fukuda, is announced that there will be a new film, a sequel to the Seed Destiny, and his spouse Chiaki Morosawa worked on the story, came up with it around after 2005, and worked on it with like over 100 visions of it, and then passed away, sadly, in 2016. But they are going to take that story and make it into a film. So, yay for Gundam Seed! You know, been an excellent Gundam, and it's set in its own universe. So you can check that out if you can find it online. All right, and that's it. All
right, that's going to be it for our summer edition of Sci-Fi Journal. Thanks to Madison.
Hi.
And Ian.
Hello.
And James.
Hey.
And Calvin.
Live long and prosper.
And Mark, thank you very much for watching. We will see you hopefully in the studio sometime in the early fall.
Did you just introduce you and Mark?
I did.
Instead of just an I?
I did.
You are such a goofball.
I know. Well, that's it. Okay, we had fun. It was a gorgeous day here at Colt State Park in Bristol, Rhode Island. Thank you very much for watching, and we will see you soon. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.